Well, good morning and welcome to Holy FaceTime again. This morning I thought a friend of mine told me last night, he said, I'm sure you've already read the Archconfraternity manual, but he said, it's probably been a while, and he said that, he was talking about the confraternities. He said, you should go back and reread the first 40 pages of the manual. And I said, that's probably a good idea because it's been a while since I've gone and read that. And when I read it a lot slower and more contemplating on the words that were written, the briefs from the popes and the letters from the Archbishop of Tours at that time. And so this morning I thought, this is really great. This would make a really nice teaching series on the Archconfraternity and why it's so important to have this Archconfraternity of the Holy Face. So I thought this morning I'd start by reading the preface of Reverend Father Janvier. He was the first director of the Holy Face in the Archconfraternity of Tours. Thought I'd start with reading with that, and I'm going to do it in bite-sized chunks. So this would be part one because it seemed like 5 parts. So I'm just going to read like one part at a time and do another video on part 2, part 3, so etc. So I'll begin with preface by Reverend Father Janvier. The new Archconfraternity, the Holy Face, requires a new manual, and therefore we present to our associates one which is furnished with the characteristic features that appear to the most suitable. So I'm going to skip this part, and I'm going to, because they're just talking about the manual and some of the prayers and stuff, but I want to get to the meat, the heart of this letter. At the head of the present, the erection of the Archconfraternity of the Holy Face by the Sovereign Pontiff has been, in the times in which we live, a providential event of which time alone will reveal all the fruits. Let us review the manner in which this important matter has been accomplished. It is well that our associates should not be ignorant of it and that they should never forget it. According to the customs of the Roman court, the favor which we solicited could not be granted, except successfully, and by decrees, and that is to say, the power of aggregation would not have conceded to us at first for our own diocese only, then later on for France and some of the neighbor countries, and finally, after a period of time, for the rest of the world. It would have been a prolonged period of waiting during 4 or 5 years that we would have had to submit to, and it was believed at Rome that no other course was possible. Now, on the 15th of last September, 1885, the Cardinal Prefect of the Sacred Congregation of the Rites was present at the audience given by the Holy Father, His Eminence, who was kindly disposed towards us, thought that he was bestowing upon us a great favor by making it subject of his first request, that the title of the Archconfraternity should be granted to the whole of France, Progalia. The Holy Father listened and reflected. What was it that was at that moment passed through the mind and the heart of the Vicar of Jesus Christ? Had he an intuition of the good which the worship of the Holy Face was destined to produce? Did the holy man of Tours, whose cause has begun, exercise over him an invisible and secret influence? Did the name of Tours, the remembrance of St. Martin, our thaumaturgist, inspire Leo XIII with an especially favorable interest in us? Therein lies the secret of God. What is certain is that the Sovereign Pontiff did not delay his decision. It was precise, absolute, and plainly formulated. Tam pro Galli quam ubique, for the whole world as well as for France. These great words were uttered under the 15th of September, the octave of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin, and the brief was signed on the 1st of October and arrived at Tours on Rosary Sunday. The promptitude with which we obtained everything at once, thanks to the unexpected benevolence of Leo XIII, was looked upon at Rome as a real miracle. It is easy to perceive some of the dogmatic and moral consequences resulting from so striking a fact. So we'll stop there and we'll just reflect on these. You know, an Archconfraternity is a huge deal. It's like just under all the orders of the the priest and the magisterium. So bishop, or sorry, you start at the head, the pope, and you work your way down through the bishops, and you get to cardinals and bishops, and down to the priest, and then you have the different orders of priests and clergy and religious, and then under that is Archconfraternity, which is it's a huge deal. And then under the Archconfraternity you have the various confraternities. So it's you know it's really imp- significant importance, and how the Pope arrived at that decision to say, oh, we're not going to make this just for France, but for now, for the whole world. And he also said in perpetuity, forever. So, going against, and Pope Leo is such an amazing man. He should be a saint, because all the many things that he did for the Rosary, reinitializing the Rosary Confraternity through his great proclamation. He, elevated Saint Joseph. He was Saint Michael the Archangel came up with that prayer. Remember, it was Pope Leo that had that vision of the church, what was going to happen in the future, and was so stunned by what he saw that he created that great the Saint Michael prayer, and he also created a form of exorcism prayers. Um, so it's just incredible to think about that, the importance of that, and him, you know, um, creating the Archconfraternity, approval of the Archconfraternity. So I'll leave it at that for part one. God bless you and take care.